There we go. All right, now we're official. All right, so be careful what you say from now on. I've heard that before. Thank you for everybody for for joining. As you may have heard, we were hoping we were going to be able to meet in person, but from what I understand, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but the church had a member that needed to put some furniture in that room that we were using, and they're going to have a estate sale or garage sale or something, and it's not going to happen until next week, and the room is packed. So it wasn't so much because of the quarantine as it was, because of the quarantine. The church was using that room, which they've more than got the right to do, and but it should be available in another week or two. That explains that. But I think it's been working pretty good with the Zoom meetings. At least we're keeping in touch. I will say, if we're going to do this again, we're going to have to put in the budget for makeup and hair, for Zoom meetings. But other than that, I think it's been working out pretty good. I guess let's just real quick, we'll do the business side of things. David, I think I saw you on here. Does anybody have any questions about the treasurer's report? Or I think Mary Jean's on here. Any questions about the minutes from treasurer's or the secretary's report?
Make a motion to accept treasurer's report and secretary minutes is in Sparks.
There we go. All right, we got a motion.
Second.
All right. Second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, we're good on that. Man, Ham's gonna forget how to do that when we finally meet again. But we're getting somebody else to get a chance to do it for a while. Let's see, anything, Joe, any updates on where you are with training? And
Yeah, we have 6 people signed up for a tech class starting June the 25th through August the 13th on 6 Thursday nights from 6:15 to 9:30, except for July the 16th and August the 6th. It'll be a combination Zoom in class. Not sure how many of the lecture classes will be Zoom, depending on how the coronavirus keeps going up and all of that. We're going to have to just play it by ear. The exam class has to be in person. But I talked with Daryl of Sheffield today, and he said they don't have anybody. They're not letting anybody in the precinct yet. Ms. Sego, Betty Sego, who is the coordinator of the room, said it'll probably be open in July, but then again, it depends on the coronavirus and how it's if it hasn't declined. So the first few classes will be by Zoom, at least. If it keeps going, we won't have the equipment demonstration, which is the last day of class. But that room, if I only have 15 people in the class, you can spread out, because it'll take about 60 people in that class, and you can spread out 6 feet apart and have the separation that's needed. So that, I'm expecting to be able to keep going for the class. We did have on May the 30th, Jeff had a test session, and we had 2 techs and then 2 upgraded from tech to general. And trying to think anything else training wise. that's all for training. I did, if you read in the ARRL newsletter, there is a lifetime membership 70 plus that you can pay $750 to get lifetime membership. I have been battling. I had prepaid dues back about 3 years ago to where it goes to 2026, and headquarters didn't want to recognize that it was prepaid rather than past membership dues. They sent me a note today saying they would do it as an exception, and I had copied David Norris on it, and then copied him with their email saying it would be an exception, and he's gonna, if headquarters doesn't see it, that prepayment of dues in advance is credited to the life membership, then he's going to bring it before the finance committee to get that modification done, to make it clarification at the July board meeting. So those people that won't, but in the 70 plus, you have to have been a member of ARRL for 25 years. So that's the status there. I think I ruffled a few feathers, but when David Norris put it out in January at the Jackson, Mississippi Hamfest ARRL session, I brought it up to him and he said it should be credited. So I'm holding his feet to the fire.
Okay.
I figure after 46 years, I should get a little bit of credit for my dues.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's probably, just one of those things where, it's such an unique or different situation. Some court didn't know how to handle it right or something, hopefully. So,
yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know why sales and marketing is the one doing it and not membership, but the lady had to go to sales and marketing manager and not the membership manager.
Huh. Okay. And one other thing that you normally are announcing by now, and hopefully people saw it in the Sparks, Huntsville is canceled this year. That's no surprise there, but they did finally made the official decision on that. So if people haven't seen that yet, that's the announcement on that. All right. Anything, anybody got anything else for Joe?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Other than what you're going to be bringing up.
Yeah. All right, Barry, 1A, you got anything?
Well, I will say that the 8-2 repeaters behaved pretty good for about a week. I went out there last Monday morning because I couldn't stand it. As of Sunday night, I was listening and it kept drifting out on its receive. And I don't know what's doing that. But anyway, I went out there and put the original repeater back in. And then I tried to put in another set of cavities that we have that personally, I mean, I don't know anything about them. They're supposedly tuned up right. But I tried putting them in and made a call to Joe or somebody, and it was very noisy and just wasn't working. So took the cans, put the originals back in, but the original repeater is in there. So what I call the ICOM number 1. That's what it's labeled as. And I've been pretty deadgum happy with it so far, knock on wood, because, the way this thing works,
Yeah.
It'll bite you in the butt in a second.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's good. In fact, I was just, I'm trying to people are doing better about not doing chats on this. It's hard for me to keep up with the chat, but I got a chat message here from Jeff, AJ4GY, and he said he was able to hit the repeater from up at Fort Pillow. So that's
Wow.
pretty good range on that.
Yeah, yeah, it's doing quite well, but keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I know we've had some people from West Memphis, and I haven't been.
Yeah, yeah.
It's, you know,
Tipton County's getting in like
I think we
crazy.
at least got the coverage we had before, you know, and a little as good or better quality. So.
Yeah, the coverage is going to be different. I'm not sure how much because it's a different kind of antenna than what we thought it was.
Right.
But still, it's doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's doing good. I think we got that about licked. So. Okay.
I hope so.
Well, we do appreciate everything you've done.
Oh yeah, and on the other note, anybody that's ever been out there, they redid the road, and it is smooth as it can be.
Yeah, they said that at the board meeting. Yeah. That's if you've ever been out there, you know what he's talking about.
Woo.
Woo. I've been on some gravel dirt roads before, and that was about the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, you actually had to go through a pond at one time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the snapping turtles are mad.
Yeah, they're waiting on Rick.
Yeah, they've been the turtles have been evicted from the roadway. Okay. All right. Well, before we get into talking about field day, while anybody else have anything else they'd like to bring up while it's still on their mind, or John or Steve, anything regarding your side?
Yeah, I want to give a short report about how the American Red Cross drill with Aries went 2 Saturdays ago. Fayette County participated, and because the American Red Cross in Memphis didn't participate, we were sending our forms and stuff to Chattanooga, and it was going to the Red Cross there in Chattanooga. They had their form 6904, which is a request form for supplies and stuff for the shelters. The goal of the exercise was to see if we could transmit their forms and the 214s and the other stuff to our other partners, because it was going to the American Red Cross and about 4 or 5 other folks. So we were actually sending it to the folks in Hamilton County, and they were handing it to the American Red Cross there in Chattanooga for us and stuff. So it was after much trial and tribulation, because Tom and I's first transmission took 20 minutes to send the form. After getting some new software and doing some tweaking and stuff, the last set of forms we sent, and I think Tom said there was like 4 at one time, it went in 1 minute and 34 seconds type situation. So learned a lot. I had all the people in Fayette County pick a location that was close to their house that would be a shelter, and everybody was using emergency power, so everything was off the grid basically, because the grid was shut down was what the scenario was.
Yeah, that was a scenario,
yeah. And so they were very successful sending us all the information that we needed to Tom and Bill Hancock. They were going to be my WinLink stations, and we put it on the forms and sent it on from there. So it didn't go smooth all the way, but we accomplished everything we wanted to accomplish. So, and I know one of the things we need to do as HAMS folks is to get a little closer relationship with their Memphis chapter. So, because we really need to practice what we did with them, because that's who we're going to have to be taking care of in the event of emergency in our counties around here. So, and we're steady learning things about Connect, and we're finding the tricks and stuff, and the calendar is full of events and stuff for people to sign up for all across the state.
Well, that's what I was going to ask with, because we're kind of, I think some of us are looking for events. We've probably lost most of our things that we normally do. I haven't heard anything lately about any of the bike things that are more in the fall, but I would imagine they're pretty much questionable. So, yeah, anything y'all got coming up that any, drills or, anything that y'all got coming up, definitely get the word out, and I'm sure you'll have some eager participants.
Yeah.
What's the next thing that you do have coming up that you know of that you might want some people to help with?
Nothing right now as far as drills. It's just most of it's nets and meetings and things like that's on the thing. But as far as a drill, I think that we could probably create one to get Shelby County, Fayette County, and Tipton County and stuff kind of involved, because we're all going to be in the same boat when the stuff happens. So
yeah,
we need to practice. We need to practice doing our communication between that and seeing if we can get our groups together, working together with stuff. So we may come up with something. John and I will put our heads together, think up something.
We're talking about doing another simplex test, only doing it a little differently than we ran it back in April for the June Aries meeting. Once we do our business, we'll break free and go over to a simplex frequency, but I'm still putting together all the details on that. So that'll be something that we could do, and even include Fayette and Tipton counties in that as well, if they would be interested. On that out.
I mean, just thinking for myself, what one suggestion on that might be practicing relays some. I could hear some people, but I couldn't hear, which that's the nature of simplex. But that might be something else to incorporate.
Well, I know when we did our simplex test for Fayette County, we found out during our test that the transmission went better from east to west than it did from west to east. You could be on the east end of Fayette County and go further west than you could be on the west end of Fayette County and go east, and that's because it is lower on the west side and it goes uphill.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot. So we have practiced that in Fayette County, and it would be nice. Yeah, we need to practice being able to relay from our counties to other counties to just see what we could.
Yeah, see how far we could get relaying, rather than just straight simplex. So I didn't want to monopolize it, but that from my standpoint, because I'm kind of a little bit farther, I'm on the far east side of Cordova, out near Eads, and I could hear a few people that are out this way, but anybody hardly in town, I couldn't hardly hear them. So, okay.
Well, what you have to do is have to have a net control, and then have to have some sub-net control people that will then do the relaying.
Yeah, that was my problem. I couldn't hear net control at all. But I stayed on long enough to know that once net control got to some people that I could hear, I knew that it was still going on. So, it's just that's just.
Well, what you could do some pre-planning to maybe get a map and get everybody's location and kind of find some people that would be in a good position to be a net control in the different parts of the county, and say, hey, if this goes down, we have to go simplex. You're going to be net control, and everybody will know that's where pre-planning comes in. So.
Yeah. That's where I was. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good. Appreciate that. Anybody else have anything else they want to? We are going to talk about field day, but before we get to that, any other general topics or any other questions, suggestions of things we can do now? For those, we mentioned it at the beginning of the meeting, but we've had some people add on. We are right now planning that we're going to be able to meet in person in July. Unless things change with quarantine requirements, but the church was going to allow us to meet tonight, but they're using that room for something else, and it wasn't available. So that shouldn't be the case next month, and so we're hoping to meet. At this point, I may not be there. I've had something come up, but y'all can still go ahead and meet, even though I'm not there. Don't worry about it. You'll be in good hands. All right. If nobody has anything else right now, I think speaking of the church,
is the net?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What night is the Delta Net on? We've got a new antenna that we might be able to actually let y'all hear us.
Oh, great. Great. Yeah.
Nice.
It's actually every night except for the second Tuesday of the month. Every night at 8 o'clock. Every night.
8 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Okay. 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Give it a shot.
I tuned in Thursday and didn't hear a thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's your antenna report.
Well, I could hear the last time I got into it, I could hear everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm transmitting on an 8-watt Bofang with just a rubber ducky, but
Yeah.
I've got a J-pole now that I can use.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll keep trying. And like I said, that helps us. That helps us know where we can get. So.
A J-pole is only about 2.15 dB above a quarter wave ground plane, to where I would recommend, with you being out in Oakland, particularly if you're going to go with only a handheld Bofang radio, you need to get an external antenna that has 6 dB gain or 8 dB gain to be able to really communicate.
Well, good news is I just ordered a Anytone 778, and it's on a slow boat from China, but I should get it probably next month, and I'm going to set that up too. So it's about a 25-watt radio, so I should be a whole lot better.
Well, no.
But again, you can have the greatest radio in the world, but if you don't have a decent antenna, you aren't going to do anything. You should put probably 75% of your money into the antenna and 25% in the radio.
Well, that's my next project, the antenna. I've already got one picked out.
Yeah.
John Reiner's KN4BVH just put up a tram that Main Trading Company sells that I think he's fairly satisfied with. It's what, 6 dB, John?
Actually 8 and then 11 on UHF.
It's 17 feet long. But,
yeah, it's tall. And the other thing is, I got it, of all places, I got it through Staples. I got it for $85. So
oh
wow,
with free shipping. So, but it's a Tram 1481. You do need to waterproof the joints where it joins together. I did read several articles that they said it's notorious for getting water in it if you don't do that. But other than that, and I've only got it on 10-foot mast right now, and it's doing excellent, and going to get it up.
John got into Hernando.
Well, the little J-pole that I purchased, I tried it today, and I couldn't, without putting that on, I couldn't even reach, the repeater. After I got it set up, took it outside and hung it up, I could at least reach the repeater. I was getting, pretty good response.
Okay. So unfortunately, you've done something today and wanted to test it, and we didn't have the net. Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could at least get a response out of the repeater. I wasn't getting that before.
Yeah. Well, after this, I'm sure if you wanted to try that again, I'm sure people will, get on the repeater and see if you can get in, see if you can make a contact. So, okay.
Steve, I'll remind everybody that I have the Delta net is listed in the Connect calendar, so they can see what night it is. You just look on the list. It's got we got all the nets. We got the YL, we got the bullfrog net. We tried to put every net we could find in there so they know when they're happening, and so they can register to get credit if you're Aries.
Okay.
You don't have the 900 net.
Well, I just found out.
Yes,
about
we
that
do.
today.
We do too have the Super Niner net on there. I know for a fact because I went through and edited them last night. So.
All right.
Okay.
So,
I knew it wasn't on there one time.
So.
okay.
No, it's on there.
All right.
But if there is something that's not on there, by all means, let us know so that we can add it. And another thing is, I'm not on every net and I'm not at every meeting, but the ones that I'm on, I do try to pick up anyone that I see participating. I just go ahead and add their time in. So you may get an email from time to time showing where you registered for an event. That's usually me adding you if I hear your call sign on one of the nets that we have posted.
And I'll remind everybody, tonight's meeting is on the calendar. So if you're Aries, you can click on and get credit for it.
Okay,
And-
good.
Yeah, I have 13 slots filled right now on it, looking at the screen right now.
Okay. Good. Good. All right.
John, where did you purchase that antenna?
John?
I got mine through staples.com, but they sell it at Main Trading as well. Staples had the best price that I saw. But it's a Tram 1481.
Okay, thank you.
But it's tall, but it'll get the job done.
All right. All right.
Get some
Okay. Anybody else?
coax to go with it. If you're on VHF and UHF, get at least RG 213 or better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Somebody doesn't have anything else. I guess the topic of the night and the topic of the month is field day. Speaking of the church, we unless something changes, we've got access to the church where we're going to plan on doing an abbreviated version of field day from the Ellendale Church this year. We thought that was going to be a safe bet in that, it's a facility we're familiar with. It's not a public place like a public park. Heck, I had the grandkids the other day and went to a playground, and they still got the playgrounds, roped off where you can't get into that. So, if we were to have a bunch of people pull up and do stuff at where we normally do it or any other public place, it might be more of an issue. But Joe's been in contact with Ellendale, and they said we're more than welcome to be there. What we're going to do is on Saturday, we're going to operate just on Saturday from there. We're going to, the field day goes until, 1 o'clock on Sunday.
Starts at 1 o'clock on Saturday and field day itself goes to 1 o'clock Sunday.
Yeah. So it goes from 1 o'clock p.m. on Saturday to 1 on Sunday. But normally when we do field day, we're there the whole time at the location that we're at. But this time, because of the location, because of what's going on with the quarantine and different things, what we've decided to do is we're going to, a few people are Friday, maybe going to go out and start setting up some antennas. I didn't see a time on that yet, Joe. I'm sure, that kind of nail that down later, but I think Pat, Joe, a couple of people are going to maybe go out and do that on Friday. It's always the antennas that Pat can testify to that. Even as good as he is, sometimes it takes a little longer than you think to actually get the tree to cooperate with your antenna. So we're going to do that on Friday to make sure we get that done. And of course, all this depends on the weather. And then starting, Joe, what did you say about 9 o'clock or so?
9 o'clock Saturday morning.
9 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to set up, we're planning on 3 stations right now. Pat is going to do CW. I'm sure most of y'all that are on here have seen him doing CW, but I will say, if you've never seen Pat or anybody else doing CW, it's something to watch.
Steve?
Yeah.
Let me interject something. The reason, part of the reason we're doing that, it's going to be from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock Saturday, 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Saturday. And the main reason that we're trying to do it is for training. We've got a lot of new people that really haven't done HF, and we want to show them what HF is about and see them have the setup. So that's what we're hoping on is to give them an insight into HF, to where if they're a technician, they want to get their general class license, and if they're general, they want to get a radio and get on the air. With field day, you have a lot of hams on the air. Yes, they're very quick exchanges. You cannot rag chew, but it'll give a number of people the ability to see what ham radio is in an environment where there's activity going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why we. Thanks for saying that, Joe. That is one. That was one thing that on the board meeting in the last 2 months, the board meeting, we've talked about. How can we do that? Because unless you grew up in a house with a HF radio, you just hadn't been exposed to it. That's just something. I mean, everybody's got a, if you've got an HT for working the repeater, that's pretty common, and that's easy to get right after you get your tech license. But most people aren't going to invest the time and money and everything else in an HF setup. And part of it is they don't know what they need, what equipment they need, and how they need to use it. So this is going to be a great, I will emphasize, for any new person, any tech, anybody that maybe, I know that in the club, we've got some people that maybe been inactive for a while and getting started back up. This is what field day is about, is for that kind of hands-on, ears-on opportunity. But we're going to have. I mentioned Pat because I'm looking at the screen here, and he's on this. He came to mind, and he's always a big part in helping us get set up, because he's the wizard of antennas. Let's see. We're going to have. I'm going to be there. John, you're going to do digital. Is that still correct?
I can. Sure. Be happy to.
Yeah.
And the solar.
Yeah. You were. That's what I'd heard. If something changes,
Yep.
let us know. But you were going to be there, and you were going to do digital. If you haven't, we've talked about. I guess you're going to do an FT8.
Yeah, I'll do FT8, and
Yeah.
I'll bring the whole solar setup as well.
Okay.
So we can. Just like
so-
we did last year.
Yeah, I try. I think once or twice we've tried to demonstrate FT8 at the club meetings, but that would be a great time to see how FT8 works. If you've never seen that, that's amazing. And then I think Barry, you're doing single sideband.
We need to get a single sideband captain.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Okay.
I was going to do it, and then I thought Barry was going to do it, so I thought I got outranked, but that's fine.
I am providing the generator.
Huh? Are you going to provide
I
the
am.
generator? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll set up for single sideband, and so we're going to have all kinds of examples. Those are the main 3 kinds of examples for HF. So we're going to have everything there. What we're going to do, we've got, Pat, myself, and John, we're going to have our units there, and we're going to be working. But, if what we were planning on doing is if people want to come by and operate, we're thinking it might be better this time. We've talked about a schedule before, but this time I think a schedule is going to be even more important. Not so much to make sure we got the coverage, but we don't want to have 20 people show up all at once, and we're kind of defeating the purpose of all the separation we've been doing. So if you are interested in coming, if you would contact me, my email's all over Sparks and everything else, but it's S Frazier, FRAZIER, the number 1 at bellsouth.net. You can just contact me, and I'll try to kind of keep up with it. Contact me, let me know when you would like to be there, and I'll put you on a schedule that I'm going to keep, and I'll let you know, if we're going to have some other people there at that time, or if you're going to be, during a time where we've got some openings. If you ask for a time and we got 3 or 4 people already signed up, I'll let you know that. And that's not to say if that's the only time that you can come, you can't come, but I wanted to let you know that you would be there when a relatively larger number of people will be there. Now this year, and I've got, I think there's an email that went out today, and I saw it, and I've got it pulled up on another screen here. I can pull up some of the different changes that they're going to do for this year on the rules. This year you can operate from home, and then they're going to combine when you submit your contacts. You can say that you're part of Delta Club, and they'll merge all the contacts that all the different club members have done, and the club will get credit for how many that the club has done. The way I understand it, you'll get an individual credit, and then they'll combine them all, and the club will get a credit. So it actually, you're more than welcome to come out, but actually, if you've got a station at home and you don't mind working from your house where you're already set up and everything else, this is a great year to work from home and get that from your own house. So I would actually, in some ways, kind of encourage that, because that would be, a great time to do that. For what we've covered so far, has anybody got any questions, comments, concerns?
Now you're talking about it's this coming weekend, correct?
No. I'm sorry. It's the the last Saturday.
27th.
27th.
Fantastic.
The field day is
Field
the
day.
last Saturday.
Field day.
Okay.
Field day is the last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
Field
Wonderful.
day is always the 4th weekend of June.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry I wasn't clear about that. It's the 4th weekend, so it'll be the 27th. Okay. Let me see if I can pull up my screen here.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Just one quick idea too. I know you said we were wrapping up at 8 p.m. Did we want to call the DeltaNet from that location? I know we've done that before, and it would potentially recruit some new net control stations if they see how easy it is to call a net. So maybe go till 8:30.
Who does? I'm showing my ignorance here, which isn't hard to do.
It would either be me or John Vollmer. I'll have to look at the calendar because we flip-flop on Saturday nights.
Okay. Well, if it falls on you, would you be willing to do it?
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. I need to remind you this is being recorded, so no.
Yeah.
That's the only thing with these Zoom meetings. While I'm recording it, if you volunteer for anything, there is no getting out of it. Okay. All right. Well, y'all can look at that, and if y'all want to even flip-flop the flip-flop so it falls on you, that's not a bad idea. So, okay. I mean, there's nothing hard about the 8 o'clock cutoff. If I think that's what we're going to plan on doing. But if we're on a roll and want to go just a little bit longer, but I wouldn't plan on coming out there after 7 or 8 o'clock, because I would imagine, if we're going to do it just from there, we're going to be ready to go home by 8 o'clock by the time we.
Yeah, it only takes 30 minutes to call the DeltaNet.
Yeah.
So I
you might could
just wrap up a half hour late.
I could, if somebody could help you out with digital and keep it going for that 30 minutes or something if we wanted to or needed to.
Hey, we can always use someone to help tear down.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody.
Very true.
Also, I'm sure Pat, if the CW operators, Pat could use a couple of CW operators to help him out during the day.
Yeah. Well, and another thing, I mean, we're talking about operators. The secret to field day is to have somebody on the radio and somebody logging.
Right.
So we actually need 2 people at each station. Now, John, you can
Mine already auto logs
I can
to
say you can
log
auto
the
log. Yeah,
control
you know that. Yeah.
ham radio
Man,
deluxe.
you got
So.
it made. You got it made. So all right. So yeah, you can auto log. You don't necessarily need somebody to help you, but you know, Pat, I know that you've normally had people help you, and I've got you know, I'll bring a computer or 2 that we can use you know, for logging, but you know, it's especially single sideband voice, it's actually a lot better having 2 people, you know, somebody to log and somebody to operate the actual radio and do the call. So there's no problem at all having at least 2 at each station throughout the day. All right, well, let me see if I can, let's see, this is what, yeah. All right, y'all should be seeing, are y'all seeing contest program?
Yes.
Issue? Okay, all right. This is what came across, and especially some of this first thing here, because one thing because I pulled up, now the other thing is, speaking of logging, you know, that N3FJ P program, he does have an update. I've installed that and for field day, and I expected that there would be a place on there where you would log, you know, your call sign and then maybe the call sign for the club. I was expecting that. I went through it and I didn't see that, and then I looked at the notes on the update, and all the update does is it allows a D station. If you're working from home, you're considered a D station. But normally for field day, a D station can't log a D station for field day. But this year, a D can talk to a D and log it. And so he's taken what the programmer for N3FJP, he's added it where if you're logged in as a D, you can log that you've talked to a D. Apparently before, if you were a D and you tried to log a D, it would say, hey, you can't log this. But his program's taken that exception out. So my question was, well, if the clubs, if I'm at home and I'm doing it for the club, how does the club get credit for it? And that's actually, I'm getting ahead of myself here. That's his second one down here. How does a club submit an aggregate club score? And what it is, it's when you submit your entries that you've logged, you'll put in there that you're also doing it for the club. You put in the club name, and when they consolidate, they'll consolidate. ARRL will consolidate all the ones from Delta Club, and the Delta Club will get a credit for it. Does that help everybody on that?
You need to specify which Delta club. There's several Delta clubs in the United States.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, in that it does say, that's a good point. We do know that there's other Delta clubs. Yeah. It does say make sure the official name is exactly the same. Would we put, well, I mean, that's our
Delta
name.
Amateur Radio Club.
Huh?
Delta Amateur Radio Club is the official name.
Well, that's what I'm going to say, but I wonder if anybody else has got I wonder if we needed to, would we want to say Memphis? Do we, for this?
Can we just put W4BS?
That was my other question. That was my other thought. That might actually be the easiest thing if we put W4BS as our name. surely that, you know, it says avoid abbreviations. If that's not an abbreviation, that's our call sign. I actually felt better about that because that's clear cut. If
Why don't you say
somebody-
W4BS Delta Amateur Radio Club, and that way,
Yeah. All right. That would make it very clear. And I hesitated to say Memphis Delta Amateur Radio Club because that's actually changing our name. All right.
well, it could be Delta Amateur Radio Club Memphis.
Yeah. All right. Huh. All right. Well, is this where I make an executive decision, I guess? So let's see.
Yep.
Darn.
If multiple people do it differently, would that mess everything up? Or does everybody have to be the same?
Everybody, if you got different ones, you know, I would imagine what they've got is they've got a program where it's just pulling it in and it's got to be exactly the same. Let's go with, because I'm trying, it says avoid abbreviations. I'm afraid they might not like the call sign. Let's go with Delta Amateur Radio Club space Memphis. Anybody have a problem with that? If there is more than one Delta club, that would clarify that. Does anybody have a problem? All right, I've made a decision. Delta Amateur Radio Club space Memphis. All right, so we'll go with that. Let's see. All right. Well, and actually, I knew that was it. Okay. What call sign should they use? That's why. So that actually covers it both ways. You use your call sign on the exchange. Use your call sign when you're submitting it. But then when you do submit the form, there's a place on the form where you can say what club you're with, and they'll consolidate them. So these two, this one and this one cover both those questions. The main question that I had. So when you do your exchange, you're doing your exchange with your call sign. You know, you would be a you know, whatever class you are. If you're working from home, more than likely you're going to be a D1. All right. I'm just reading through here. All right, still planning on operating. Now, that brings up the question, and I guess we can work that out when we're at the church. I would say, just to keep it simple, each of the three stations will use our call sign, and then we'll consolidate them too. Let's do that rather
They'll
than
use W4BS.
at the church.
Yes.
That could work. All right, I'm okay with that. All right, so we're gonna, while we're there, we'll use the W4BS, and that way, I guess in the records there would be some that would have that actual call sign.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we want to. I mean, we've been doing this for so long. We want people to have the honor of making a contact with W4BS. Okay. All right, so we'll do that. All right, so that answers that question. The next question is, can a club member use the club call sign? No. If you're not at the church on Saturday, you cannot use the call sign because we're going to be using it from the church. That makes sense? That's what that sounds like there. You can't use the W4BS from your home because we're going to be using it from the church.
And just remember that W4BS stands for Blazing Saddles.
Or Bull Shooter. Jeff Krause just made a comment that set up a network for the 3 computers to be networked.
We may talk about that.
Jeff volunteered, right? Jeff.
Huh?
Jeff said he can set up a network at the church so the 3 stations at the church can have one log in to N3 FJP.
We'll see. The last 2 years, we've had so much trouble doing that networking. I don't know. We can talk about that. We can try it. Since it's just 3 stations.
The last 2 years, you didn't have me doing it.
Huh? Do what? I thought I heard somebody. Okay. All right.
It was Jeff talking. Yeah. Jeff, what'd you say?
I said the last 3 years, you didn't have me setting it up. But if people can provide some hardware, I can probably make that work.
Okay. That'll work. I agree. It wasn't you doing it, so I'm okay with that. But we've had. If you're going to be out there, and if you're going to be out there, and you want to, if you're offering to do it, yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
It's recorded. It's on tape now.
You're learning. Okay. All right. We can do that. The fallback is we don't have to do it if it doesn't work, because we've kind of had to do it before because of the way we were doing things. It was causing us problems because we were planning on doing it if we didn't do it. So
I used to do it all the time until I had kids.
Okay. All right. We're good. But since it's 3 stations and we're using different modes and everything, we'll see. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. That'll work. That'll make it easier. Let's see. I'm getting the thing here. Somebody trying to join.
So if we're going to network them, then I'm going to need that N3FJP software to log, correct?
Do what?
I'm going to need to log through N3FJP then if we're going to network them, correct?
Download it, and if you need to sign on, don't buy a membership. Don't buy if you don't already have it. Don't buy it. I can give you my sign. I can give you my sign on to log in.
Okay.
Okay. We can do that. We've done that before. All right. So if you don't already have the program, go ahead and download it. But are you using something else for your logging, or you're not using that?
Well, I usually just go straight through Ham Radio Deluxe logbook, and then it uploads like Logbook of the World and whatnot. And that's how I handle the auto logging. I'll have to play with N3FJP and see if I can.
That's why I was asking. Don't mess around. If you're good with doing yours that way, let's download it so that you've got the program on your computer. Now, do you also use to auto log into the N3J?
Last year we had to manually entry into the N3FJP.
No. You don't have to manually enter, but you got to have another program that what's that other one that
exports or imports like the ADIF file.
No, you got to have that alert program that.
Oh, the JT Alert, yeah.
JT Alert. Do you have JT Alert?
Yeah, I've got that.
All right. If you got JT Alert, it goes from the FT8 program to JT Alert to N3.
The N3FJP.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
If you got alert, then we're okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll be good then.
Have to get I mean, there's no problem with the alert either, but most people already have that. So okay. All right. We're good. All right. The next one, the club normally is Class A. All right, yeah, all right. This is what we were talking about before. If you're working from home, you're a D, and then they'll consolidate those into the A for the club. All right, the next one about duplicates. Now, this is the question that I had once before. I don't know if I brought this up in the board meeting or I brought this up in the last meeting. Duplicates. So if you, in fact, this is where we can actually get some more contacts, because we're gonna have different people working from home. The club can contact another call sign multiple times, and it does not count as a duplicate.
Yeah, the D stations can contact the same station, and it'll be counted.
Right. But the main thing is because because the way I read this one is, if you were working from home, WA4OVO could log KN4BVH, and then KK4BPT could log KN4BVH, where before, if we were both out at Germantown at the park and we were doing it, it'd count as a duplicate. If we were on the same, if we were on the same band, yeah. But now it's not going to count as a duplicate.
Right.
Let's see. All right, does it need to be affiliated with we are, so that doesn't matter. All right, and the bonus points, we'll work that out as board when we do that. We'll do everything we can to get the bonus points. So, okay. All right. This is, obviously this is, if somebody wants to go back and look at this later, I got it from some email, but it looks like it's on the ARRL news contest, or, issues, frequently asked questions. You should be able to find it on the website. I think we covered everything there. Does anybody have any questions about what's brought up here? All right. That is about all that I had. Does anybody have anything else regarding field day?
I talked to Rick, WA4NVM, and he said he would work on trying to make a satellite contact for.
Oh, yeah. All he's got to do is get one, and we get the credit for it, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
No pressure. No pressure, radio man there, or satellite man. One contact. All you gotta do is one contact.
Not a problem. Happy birthday, Richard Martin, while I'm here.
All right.
I'll break out the good bottle again if you make one good contact. So, all right.
Hey, I'll toast
I was going to say Richard's already got that covered.
We already drank all your scotch.
There's more where that came from.
Hey,
All
Barry.
right. Ed, any word from out west? Now, all right. Any words from
Happy to see you, Ed.
Oh, indeed. Hey, I'll drink to that. Yeah, I tell you, and we're going to have our field day up in what they call Lost Eden, up on the rim, and so I'll surely be bending people's arms to look back into Foreland for some contacts.
All right. What's it? So your club is doing it like they normally do, then?
Yeah, we're it's a private. God, I don't know how many parcels. It's probably as large as the down in Germantown there.
Yeah.
But it's a private parcel.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah, we're going to be camping out, and except we don't have to worry about the saddles for the bugs.
Yeah.
So we're looking to be out there for the weekend, basically the same time frame, and I'll be listening to the East.
Okay. Listen for us. Now, we need plenty of pictures of people falling asleep, even at home, pictures of people falling asleep during field day. I'll get my wife to, hey, after I leave the church, I'll come home and I'll work from home, and I'll get my wife or somebody to get a picture of me about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning like y'all usually do. So, all right. Nathan here on the chat. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at that close enough. Can you tell the difference between D and E at home? Not off the top of my head. I know that D. Oh, E is your work. Is E that you're working off emergency power from home?
Yeah, but it's portable.
Portable. Okay.
It can still be counted.
Yeah, it can still be counted. So Nathan, I hope that answers your question. You can go on WARRL. The general rule, the normal rules are still pretty much in place, except for the fact about Dees can contact Dees, and we're consolidating for the club. Anybody else got any other questions? Comments? Words of, I hate to ask for words of wisdom. God Almighty, I'm either going to get nothing from y'all or we'll be here all night. Do we have I think Richard's needing to fill up his glass. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Richard's going to the Vino net.
All right, seriously, anybody got anything else? All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
Got it.
Got it.
Second.
All right.
Second. Third.
All right.
That was
All right,
Clyde saying got it, I think.
All right. All right. I do appreciate y'all joining us again. Let me know if you're, like I said, you don't have to let me know. It's not, if you don't sign up to come out on field day and you're able to come on out. It's just we'd like a little bit of a head count so that we don't, we do what we can to avoid having a big group out there if that's going to cause a problem when people do get out there. All right. So if you know that you want to come and you want to check with me and kind of see what I know about the numbers, feel free to contact me and I'll let you know. All right. Well, I think we got a motion to adjourn, and I'm about to hit the end button unless somebody says something else real quick.
Good to see everybody again.
Let it rip. All right. Thank y'all. Have a good evening. Everybody stay safe.